I forgot to hit record on the Ustream thing. So, welcome back, people. And we just discussed UK by-elections and the results and the future of UK politics. And now we'll get into something a little more, if you could say British, but I would say more worldly, as we'll talk about the greatest show in the world, and probably the greatest show ever made, really, in history of television. That is, of course, Doctor Who. And my goodness, finally, for the first time since week 3 of the season, we've had a good episode. As I was watching it, I thought it was too good to be true. Finally, a good episode of Doctor Who. You know, the first 3 episodes of this series were pretty good. I liked them. You know, they were all 8, 7s, and 1 6.5. The last couple of them, I forget what number episode we're on now, but the last couple of them were not that good. In fact, the fourth one was a nightmare, literally. The last 2 were okay, and the one last week, the one before this one, was, debatable. But this one, universally, was the best Doctor Who episode of this season. What a wonderful episode. Capaldi. The best Doctor in the new series of Doctor Who. He's way better than Eccleston. He's way better than David Tennant. And he's way better than Matt Smith. The best Doctor Who is Peter Capaldi. And you could even tell that because he still makes the pretty bad episodes of this season look watchable because of his acting. This guy is a wonderful actor. And if you ever watch Doctor Who, for whatever reason, just watch it just for his acting, because he does a marvelous job. I mean, he does awesome. He might be the best actor that Doctor Who ever had. Now that's different than Tom Baker, who's the best Doctor Who. Peter Capaldi is an actor. Tom Baker played Doctor Who like Tom Baker, so he wasn't really acting, so to say. And Paul McGann is probably a close second to Tom Baker, but Capaldi, my goodness. But this episode was not perfect, sadly, because in the previous episode, Clara was ticked off at the Doctor, and she left him. She yelled at him, she put him in his place, so to say, and she left the TARDIS crying and angry. And I think I was the only one my age who watches Doctor Who who was applauding, saying, "Thank goodness, she's gone. No more Clara." Hopefully, of course we knew, thanks to some spoilers, that wasn't true. But at least the next episode may be companion light, meaning no companions, just the Doctor. Which is good, because under Stephen Moffat, Doctor Who has become a current companion with the Doctor, which is not Doctor Who, Doctor Who should be Doctor Who focused. That's what's called Doctor Who. The show's not called Clara with Doctor Who. It's called just Doctor Who. And, my God, that mummy creature was beautiful. The training, the effects, marvelous. The writing, for the first time since episode 3, beautiful writing. I felt so engaged. And British comedian Frank Skinner, who I'm a big fan of, was finally in a Doctor Who episode. He said one time on Graham Norton, I believe it was last year, that he always wanted to be in a Doctor Who episode, and that he would play any part that was given to him, even a tree. And you know what? He got the part, and he did a fabulous job. That's for sure. So Frank Skinner, wonderful as whoever he played. He played the mechanic guy. I don't remember his name, to be honest with you. But how Peter, the Doctor, was willing to kill people to figure out how to stop this thing, just like the Doctor should do. If David Tennant was in that situation, he'll be crying. He'll be saying, I don't want to do it. There has to be another way. if Matt Smith was in that situation, Matt Smith would have, done something dumb, as he usually did at Doctor Who. Well, don't get me wrong, I like Matt Smith at Doctor Who. He just, the writing really didn't, help his acting skills, so to say. If it's about like Capaldi, because Capaldi is, a fabulous actor. He's like A-class practically. The Matt Smith, would have been some big dumb speech with I'm the Doctor playing, which really did get annoying, because the writing was so bad. They used the music to get us emotional about it, and it's funny because it's true. I bet you people watching, remove the music from Doctor Who, and if you still are emotionally invested in it, then fine. But take out all the music in the Matt Smith era and tell me, are those episodes still, grab your attention, grab your emotions? Do they still get you involved in the episode? And the answer is no, they're not. Murray Gold should be Stephen Moffat's number one should be on Stephen Moffat's number one thank you list, because he owes that guy everything. He's the only reason people get emotionally invested in these episodes since he's taken over Doctor Who. It's the music that gets you. And I'm guilty of it until I realized it. It's the music that gets you emotionally invested, not the writing, not the acting. Even though I don't know about the acting, because they're all pretty good for the most part in Doctor Who history. They've been fortunate to have pretty good actors. But yeah, good episode. The Doctor was willing again to sacrifice somebody else, or willing to see people die to, see himself progress. And people die in Doctor Who, companions died in Doctor Who. Katrina died. The companions who died in Doctor Who were Katrina. Adric died. Perry, quote unquote, died. I think she died, but according to Doctor Who lore, she's still alive. But many fans like me believe that she's dead, which we want. Sorry, Perry. You were nice, in a way nicely figured, but that's about it. That's the only reason people watched Doctor Who back when you were around, was just to look at you. It's the truth. But yeah, so Clara somehow got back with the Doctor, which was really a problem for me, because I don't know why, or how she got there, It didn't make any sense to me. I wanted to see how they, rebonded, or something like that, how they got back together. Because, last time she saw him, she was done, she left. She said, I'm done with you, I'm leaving. And now we see them together again? That don't make much sense to me. But, anyway, you can't be perfect, but you could try to be. And, I don't know if Moffat said, put an end with no explanation, or the writer just did that. I don't really know, but it kind of ruined the episode for me. When I first saw that, I was like, oh my god. Why? 10 minutes, not even, like 3 minutes into the episode, I'm like, oh no. You just blew the episode. There it goes. I'm going to be sitting here for an hour of my life watching this garbage. But I was pleasantly surprised. That was the only flaw in the episode. And the way the Doctor figures it out. The way he gets Clara to go, Clara, come bring, I forgot what's the name, with you into the main room. I'm going to sacrifice her to see what I want, to see how to beat the monster. And he tricks her into believing it. And Clara goes for it. For somebody who hates what the Doctor does, for somebody who can't stand the Doctor and his tactics, she does follow his directions a lot. She didn't tell the lady the truth. She just went along with it. So for somebody who to be that ticked off at the Doctor for doing things like that in the past, really did a good job following along with that. And a part like that really, it doesn't make much sense. Why? If you hate what the Doctor's doing, and you know what he's gonna do, why would you follow? Why would you do it anyway? Just say no, or just tell the lady the truth. But you didn't do it, and I think that's a flaw. I think that's bad. I don't know if it's bad writing or inconsistent writing, but it's not good. I don't like that. I like my Doctor Who perfect. I like my Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, and towards the end, Sylvester McCoy writing in Doctor Who. Those writing were good. That was good writing. That was good characters. And didn't really get me emotionally invested involved either. But yeah, all that stuff was awesome. And it was good, Doctor Who. And this episode was good too, you know. It was a standalone episode, which means that in every season, since Moffat has taken over, we've had a story arc. And, you know, this time we didn't have one, which was excellent. I love standalone episodes. But, you know, I'm getting a little bit nervous now because, you know, we were introduced into a story arc on episode 1, and we haven't really been introduced to it as much as I would like. You know, and we're already pretty much like, what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks away from the season finale? And, you know, I'm getting a little concerned that this might be season 7 all over again, in which they spent, like, you know, 1 episode or 2 on a story arc, and leave the rest of the episodes for, you know, just doing what you want to do. And at the end of the day, you know, by the time the season finale comes, it's really garbage, you know, and you go like, what in the world is wrong with you, you know? What did you do, just make this up as you went along? And the answer is yes. It's funny because it's true. The answer is yes. I believe Moffat makes this stuff up as he goes along. And that is a shame and a travesty for Doctor Who fans. On a Tom Baker, we had some good storylines. On a John Pertwee, we had some good stories. Sylvester McCoy, toward his end of his era, he got some good stories. Charlton, for the most part, had good stories. Hartnell had reasonably good stories, even though not the best in the world. And Colin Baker was unfortunate. Peter Davison had some pretty good stories too. Not all of them were good, but a good portion of them were. Matt Smith didn't really get any good stories. Sorry, Matt. You know, your stories pretty much sucked for the most part. David Tennant, you know, and Eccleston, for better for worse, you've had some pretty okay stories. Not great ones, not classics, but, you know, doable, watchable stories. And so far, Capaldi, you know, so it's 50-50 right now. You know, I don't really know which one to go with at the moment. But this story arc right now could be the make or break for the Moffat Capaldi era. And in my mind, it is. This is make or break. You know, Moffat did a pretty good job at season 5 when he first took over. That was a good story arc. Season 6 was a cop-out. The whole season was a cop-out. Season 7, you know, if you could debate that it was worse than season 6, but it still sucked. And so forth, season 8, Moffat, this is it. This is your era. This is your head in the line. If this season will follow the path of season 7 and 6, I want a new showrunner, because obviously you can't write this show anymore. I'm sick of it. And I don't want to see you or any of your boys write for Doctor Who ever again. I will demand that we get some audio drama writers into the Doctor Who TV series, because the Doctor Who audio dramas are way better than pretty much most of the crap you're pulling out. But let's not get too negative. I really like this episode of Doctor Who. I think it's really entertaining. I think it's really enjoyable. This was a good episode. You know, this episode I'm giving a 9 out of 10. The monster was brilliant. You know, people died again in Doctor Who for a good cause. You know, the Doctor used them to figure out what the monster was, how to beat the monster. Frank Skinner was a good supporting cast. The train conductor was awesome. Clara, you know, even though I'm not her biggest fan, was awesome. You know, the monster had a reason to kill. There was a good flow to the story, you know, no, you know, putting garbage and at the end just making something up. Like they did last week, and they did the week before that. And they did the week before that. And they did the week before that. You know, it's like ridiculous. Come on, this story was good. For the first time since probably season 6, we've had a really, really good story that's worthy of a 9 or a 10. And this one gets a 9 out of 10. It would have been perfect if we would have known how Clara and the Doctor met each other again. Now for you Doctor Who fans out there who watch the show closely as I do, Danny Pink, is something to watch out for. Now we all know well, you know what? Spoiler alert for Doctor Who fans. This is a spoiler alert. Danny Pink, somewhere along the is it in the finale or towards the end, we see him in a Cyberman suit. So, you know, the Danny Pink is definitely somebody to watch out for. And that Mistress lady might have something to do with why he's a Cyber Controller. Or, pardon me, why Danny Pink is in a Cyberman outfit. Now, whether he's helping the Doctor, going to betray him, we don't know. Who is this Mistress lady? You know, some Whovians don't care anymore because, you know, we've seen how season 6 and 7 ended. And, you know, season 8, you know, who's to say it's going to be different? I'm only interested in it because I think it's Clara. I think she's Clara. I really do. Or some form of Clara and a good intelligence combined that made her up. But we'll see what happens, you know? But more better not screw this up. We'll talk about more. I'll dedicate a whole show to Doctor Who, actually. The Wednesday before the season finale. To wrap up to all you people who are probably thinking, what in the world is he talking about? Well, on the Wednesday before the finale, you'll know everything, and I'll go over in detail every episode and why I thought it was good or why I thought it was really, really, really bad. But that's enough for Doctor Who talk. I think I've done a rant long enough. Coming up next is New York winning or New York losing. We'll be back right after this.